guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel, Makes Movies. If you are new to this channel, this is basically where I talk to you guys about my passion for movies. This goes from collections, hauls, reviews, and to today's video, so let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I am doing a Bad Boys ranking today. So yes, I'm ranking all 4 movies. So I just want to start off by saying I absolutely enjoy every single one of these movies. There is not one that I hate. There's not one I dislike or anything like that. So whatever order this is in, I love them from start to finish. Obviously this will change because like I've done in my reviews for these films, the scores are pretty similar in a sense. So this ranking could change the next time I watch the films. I might even go and see Ride or Die again next week. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to plan things out a bit. But for now, this is the ranking that I feel comfortable with. This is how I'm feeling at the moment. But like I said, I enjoy every single one of these films. But at the same time, the next time I watch them, this could all change around. So yeah, so I'm just going to move over to the side so I can put the posters there. And let's get into the ranking. Okay, so at my number 4 spot is the very first Bad Boys. Like I said, I do really enjoy all these films. There's not one I dislike. However, at the moment, I will say at the bottom is Bad Boys 1. I do really enjoy these films. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith did absolutely amazing in the first film. I do like the plot. I think it's a fun and exciting plot to follow. It is kind of your typical buddy cop plot in a sense. But it's fun. It's entertaining. I have a good laugh every time I watch it. I do enjoy the characters. I like the fact that this is both a mix of funny and serious at the same time. It is more funny in this one than serious, but when it does go to the serious moments, it hits, and it's very emotional, and it's fun. It's a weird way to explain a buddy cop film. But Bad Boys 1 is at my number 4 spot for now, but that could change, like I said. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say on Bad Boys 1. But I'd say for a first movie to establish this it's now become a big franchise, great start to a franchise. And they just got better and better as they went on. So my number 3 and my number 2 spot, this could change, has alternated over the past couple of times I watched these films. The first time I watched them, it probably would have been switched round, but I've switched them again this time because this is my second time watching the third one and the second one, in my ranking. But at third place, I'm going to have to put Bad Boys 2. Now, the reason being is because the plot does feel rather similar to the first one. It's just there's a lot more to it. And there is a lot more action in this one. There's a lot more camera angles in this as well. I didn't realise that the first 2 were Michael Bay films until I was watching a review for one of these films and they were like, Michael Bay did this. And I was like, oh, okay. See, because when I think Michael Bay, I think Transformers. I don't think Bad Boys. But I think for me now, I am going to think Bad Boys for Michael Bay. Just because I really enjoy these films. But the second one, it was nice. They brought back some characters. We got the introduction of Reggie, who's going to become a bigger player. Well, not bigger player, bigger character in the later films to come. But this one took a little bit more of a serious tone compared to the first one. It did have the comedy bits, but I feel like this second one, although it was similar plot-wise to the first one, it did feel a bit more action-packed. There was a lot more camera angles. Like there's this camera scene where Will Smith's character's Mike is stood like that with a couple of guns and this camera's just panning around continuously. And I think that is a really cool shot. So that's one of the many scenes that sticks out in my head when I think of Bad Boys 2. And hence why that one's at my 3rd spot, because compared to the first one, I feel like the action and the emotion was a lot more harder in this film. So it's weird to say, but Bad Boys 1 and 2 are really good films. Like, to be honest, the whole franchise is. But when I think about it and I rewatch them, I do feel like I remember a bit more of 2 now than I did before. Because like I said in my review for it, I couldn't really remember much of Bad Boys 2. But as soon as I put it on and that opening scene started, I remembered everything. And then that what made me realise, yes, I do like the second one. But at my number 2 spot is Bad Boys for Life. Now, this is my second time watching this film, and I enjoyed it a bit more this time round. I think the first time that I watched it, I was very mixed on it, and like I said, 2 and 3 could switch at any point, and it did to start with. But the third one, I do like the fact that they did a different plot. They did something different. They didn't copy and paste the similar plot to 1 and 2, and hence why that is at my number 2 spot, because it is different in a sense, and there was a couple of scenes in this movie that did make me tear up, which is quite funny, because especially since I know what's going on, even though this is like my second time watching it, I still tear up, because it's 2 very specific scenes, and if you've seen the Bad Boys for Life movie, you know which 2 I'm on about. But I like the fact that this was all centered on Mike and sort of like Marcus's characters sort of like wanting to take different paths, because especially with what Mike was dealing with in this film, and then you have Marcus who's dealing with the aftermath of that and going, well, I want to retire, so to see the dynamic between them two change, because you have Mike who's this badass, he feels like he can't be killed, he's bad guy, like in the sense of he's the tough one, and then you've got Marcus who's the family man, and especially after what happens in this film, you can see their dynamic change a bit, and I do like how they dealt with that. I think they did really well with that. It was nice to see him to go into a different kind of plot. But yeah, so at number 2 is Bad Boys for Life. But at number 1, maybe it's because it's recent bias, as they call it, recency bias. I can't remember how you say it. It's like, because it's more recent, at my number 1 spot is Bad Boys Ride or Die. I really enjoyed this film. I found it hilarious. I found it serious as well. I like how they changed up Mike and Marcus a bit more in this film. So this is what I liked about this franchise, is that with each film, they got better with the action, they got better with the emotions, and even changed the characters up a bit. So in this one, you have it where Mike's a bit more of the panicky kind of one, just because of what he's got in his life now. Whereas Marcus, he dealt with something and then he's come back and gone, hey, I can't die, man. So we're dealing with them two having a bit of a twist. And I will say, I feel like Marcus was, like, he just stole the show in this film. Like, Martin Lawrence did such an amazing job in this film. I do feel like with the first 3 films, it is kind of a Mike and Marcus show. Whereas this one, it felt like the Marcus and Mike show. As weird as that sounds to explain it. But no, I do like that. I like the fact that Marcus, got a bit more of a role in this one. I will say it dealt with some more serious issues, and especially with dealing with one of the characters that's been in the films the past 3 and having to deal with that situation, because it's only just recently come out, so I'm trying not to spoil the film too much. But what they have to deal with, I think it's really good how they've dealt with that. Bit weird. There's a couple of weird scenes in this film that I kind of can't get over, because it kind of takes me out of the Bad Boys aspect of it. But then you forget about those scenes because you watch all the action scenes. And I just want to say, Reggie, oh my God, had such an amazing scene in this film. He, for 10-15 minutes, he was like, boom. He was like the MVP. It was like, wow, Reggie. Even the person that was sitting behind me was going, go Reggie. And I was saying it as well. It was so entertaining to watch. So I like the fact that his character got a bit more of a development in this film. Because if you've seen the other 2 films that he's in, the second and the third one, he wasn't really much of a character in those 2 films. But this one, oh my God. And then even the end scene with them, hilarious. But no, and the action scenes are really good in this. The camera work in this as well is so amazing, especially during that last half hour of the film, the fight scene. Oh my God, I think it's like the best fight scene we've had in these films. Just the camera movements, the camera angles, the way that it's choreographed. It was amazing from start to finish. I love the action scenes. But yeah, overall, Ride or Die is an absolutely amazing film. Now, like I said, if I'm to rewatch this film next week or whenever I next rewatch it, this could move. This could be just the fact of I got to see it on the big screen. I really enjoyed it. It hyped me up. So it might be that. But for now, at my number one spot, it has to be Ride or Die. There's nothing else I want to put at the front of it. Like I said, a couple of things knock it down a little bit, like a couple of scenes, like I said. But overall, a fun movie. And honestly, I think it's going to be in my top 10 of the year, I think. Maybe at the number 10 spot, I'm not sure. But I think this will make my top 10 of the year. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this ranking of the Bad Boys movies. I do want to watch them again, to be honest. I'm in a Will Smith, Martin Lawrence mood now. But no, I really enjoyed Bad Boys Ride or Die. If you want to see all my reviews for this franchise, I have done reviews literally the past couple of days for them. But yeah, I definitely recommend going to see Bad Boys Ride or Die in the cinema. It's fun, it's action-packed, it is worth it. But yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this ranking. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And let me know your comments and thoughts on the Bad Boys movies. What's your ranking of the films? Because especially now it's coming out today, as in Friday that I'm posting this. Maybe when you've watched it throughout the week, if you've seen Bad Boys Ride or Die, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time.